Howdy, signing sheriff here. I don't know why I didn't realize I had not made a video about this, but my bad. So I'm wanting to make a informing video about the 4, sometimes 5 rules of gun safety. So for those of you who want me to show you, I'm going to be using this, a Rock Island Armory M200. Yes, I forgot. It is clear. So nothing's going to happen if I fire. So, what are the rules of gun safety? I'm going to tilt over here, and I will put each one on the screen. Okay, so let's do this one by one. So, rule number 1, always behave like every gun has ammo in it. I know that's not what the thing up here says, but that's how I can word it in sign language. So, what does that mean? Simple. Again, it's empty. So if I was handed this, okay, somebody just handed me this thing, what am I not supposed to do? Anything like that. Because I didn't test to find out if this person who gave me the gun is trustable. Trustworthy. Ha! There we go. I don't know if I should trust him or her to know that this thingy is not going to go boom if I pull the trigger while I've got it pointed at something it should not be pointed at. Okay. Easy enough. Rule number 2. Keep the gun pointed at something you don't care if it's destroyed. I don't know off the top of my head what the normal way of wording that is, but it's up there. So, what does that mean? Well, let me use a kind of example. My mom and sister are on the bed over there. My finger is pointing that away. Now, hopefully you all know I would prefer not destroying either of them. So, I know that this is empty, but I'm not going to just, and again, it's pointed over here, not here. I'm not going to point this at them, because if for some extremely weird, impossible reason this even though it's empty, still manages to go bang, which it can't because it's a revolver. But anyway, if for some impossible stroke of not so good luck, I pointed that way, and it just boom. I just shot somebody I don't want to destroy. Not good. So what's the concept here? Okay, so there's a TV there, a bunch of random objects all along here, my mom and sister over here, my dad over here, and a bunch of objects in this direction. The only safe place to aim the gun is either up, not good because there's people above, at the door, there's people across the hall, or that way, right between in the little walkway over here. So what I try to do, right now I'm not worried because I have checked about 5 times now. I know that this is empty, so I'm not worried about it. But if this was a real situation where I had to try to decide what the best place to aim it at, I would pick that way, because that has the least that can be destroyed, whatever. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're actually ready to shoot. So what does that mean? And this time, for an example that's a little bit more realistic, this. And you'll notice that instant I brought out a gun that I know has ammo in it, I pointed it down. So with this, if I wanted to point it or hold it, I have to do this. And yes, I'm pointing it in the safe direction currently. My finger rests right under the cylinder, outside the trigger guard. Yes, it can only fire if I pull the hammer back, but your finger still stays off the trigger. For a few reasons. First one is because even though the gun can't fire without the hammer being pulled back, it still makes it a little bit more sense to keep your finger off. Because if you happen to do this and stink, the hammer's pulled back, but my finger's off the trigger. Now I know for a fact nothing's gonna happen because I'm not touching it. Or because if somebody, excuse me, if somebody is with me, for example, my sister, she doesn't know a lot about the rules of gun safety. She's never had to. I'm the person who's supposed to know all of them. If I am holding my gun like this, if she somehow notices that my finger isn't in the trigger, she will probably feel a little bit better. Or she'll be confused and ask me and I can explain it to her, and then she'll feel better. So that's another reason. But the obvious first reason is because you want to not fire. Now, I can't remember how many excuse me, how many rules I've mentioned so far. But one rule that I recently learned that I think is kind of funny, but it makes sense at the same time, is, I don't know why I keep tilting my head, because it's above me. But anyway, don't climb a tree, jump a fence, blah, 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 if you have a gun, because you don't know if all that movement is going to make it go bang. It's probably not going to happen, but you never know. With this, because it has the transfer bar, and I don't know if you could see that. This is not going to go bang if you bounce it around and somehow manage to bang. It's not going to do it. But, so those are the rules of gun safety. If I forgot one, and I'm going to review it later to make sure if I forgot one, I'll add it post-edit. But as of right now, I believe that I said all of them. Well, I could say keep the gun pointed downrange, but that's the same idea as keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. So yeah, whatever. So I will see you in the next video, and happy trails.